as I make my way. The fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to waste. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your work sure would help a lot. We should ride together.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side Ho, where they know my name.
Come on! You know I got you! Yeah! One, break the wall! Break down walls!
Oh yeah, what up, what up? Fantasy Football Hustler back at you, bringing you another episode of Fantasy News today. And here with my man who is here every day with me, Bogard Scott Free.
Hold on. The back-to-back circle champion, Bogard Scott Free, a.k.a. the Crouch Father. A.k.a. Hidden Tiger, the Crouching Father.
If you guys didn't watch yesterday's episode of The Circle, you need to go watch it. I'm throwing it in the chat here. This shit was so funny. It was my goal to see how many times I could get Bogard to make me call him by his new proper name, the Crotch Father.
Hey, listen, man, when we got a shtick going, we hold it up, man. Hey, yeah. You know what's funny? Shout out to TD, man. It's funny because, like, I remember saying maybe we should explain the rules again, right? And then I was like, oh, wait a second, everybody's been here. You know what I mean? And then, like, when he goes, he says the one thing. It's like, done.
Dang, and like,
gotta keep going, man.
I know, and I told him about it before the so he wasn't on last week. Work came into play for him, and but I told him about it the week before that, and I guess he just forgot.
You know what though? He got it now.
Ronald in the building. What up?
Shout out to Ronald. But yeah, he definitely gonna kill it now.
Yeah,
Spencer was hot too.
And
I think you know what's funny is like I be trying to count along, you know, as you do the dings. You know what I'm saying? I swear there was one more in there for him, and I think he knew it too. And he was like, but then also his connection wasn't the greatest neither. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think what ruins everyone, not just Spencer, what ruins everyone is how everyone starts their 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you go back and watch, everyone takes like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
To like,
hey, I'm guilty of that. Like,
everybody. It's not just Spencer, not just JC Money. You do it. Literally, everybody does it.
It's funny because to start the first round, you know what I mean? And I'm the second person going, right? So I just get right to it, just listing the shit, right? And
because you heard, I mean, TD, how he took like the 10 seconds or whatever,
yeah,
and then only did one, and that's what I'm surprised you didn't do it after that. It was literally like you had your play for the first one.
No, but then I did it every time after that though. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You're like all the coaches that you talk shit about, who they got a certain amount of plays in the bag, and once they get past those plays,
they just don't know what to do. You know what I mean? They got no clue.
Because that's what it is. I mean, everybody, and I don't know if you guys catch me, but every time someone does it, I laugh.
Yeah, I mean, because like you know who does it the most to his detriment is Tyrant.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, you don't know. Like he addresses the person before, and then he goes on with his answer, and it's like 15 seconds in before he starts getting dings going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it though. I like it because I'm like, yeah, keep me in this thing.
Well, see, and right now, I mean, that was third episode, in the bag. I mean, shit, we're barely just starting this. Like when we actually do it for the season, and then it's big by that point. Everyone wants to come on and shit. You guys are already gonna have the 30 seconds down to where you know how to do it. Like right now, everyone's still kind of learning.
See, what's crazy about it is that you're on the spot and it's counting down because, like,
Uncle Buck, what up?
I used to always kill the sports meet joints. 30 seconds, just cram with hella information. Then if I fuck up, I'll do it again. there is no restarts in this. There's no do-overs here. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that's what
it's
it is. Like, I mean, you did it so much for Sports Me that you kind of know how to get as much in that 30 seconds as possible. But like you said, you had to do a couple takes sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, for a 30-second take, I remember this one time, bro. It was like, somebody I'm in the garage and I'm just tearing up Sports Me all night, right? And I'm in the garage and the door opens. My girl's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I'm going to work.
You're up all night.
Matrix early.
There we go. All right. It's never a good show until Bogey goes into the Matrix. So now we know it is going to be a real good show. Stu in the building. What up, bro? And Ronald said no love for Stu. Stu always gets love, man. He gets the most love out of any Cowboys fan I know. You the man, Stu. And Ronald said JC starts really slow. And Bogard, you repeat the question, which is just a waste of time. I'll make sure to say that again when he gets back on here, because I try to explain to everyone that's what screws everybody over is at the beginning, everyone taking 5 to 15 seconds. It really, I don't know if I've ever, I mean, maybe Bogard's first time that he did it yesterday, maybe he was rapid firing, just like that for the first 10 seconds. And then it kind of slowed down after that. Oh, and Ronald said, no love for me, Stu. Yeah, Stu, got to always shout out Ronald. And Peacock always up in the build. I mean, not Peacock, Uncle Buck always up in the building. I saw this, and the cock spends too much time peacocking. That's also the shtick of the show, though. I want people to be animated. You get more points for being animated and delivering a good point. Here we go. We got some critiques from Ronald. He said, JC Money starts really slow, and Bogard, you repeat the question, which is a waste of time. Oh, maybe he walked too far away. And Ronald said, my favorite Dallas fan. I know, right? Really the only Dallas fan that I like. Now there's a couple now. But yeah, Stu, you're the man. All right. And Bogard's handling some daddy daycare. And we are going to get into some news here real soon. I want to make sure Bogard hears your comment, Ronald, before we talk about the new hire in Jacksonville.
Go ahead. What's he talking about?
He said, JC Money really starts slow. Hell yeah, he does. And he said, Bogard, you repeat the question, which is a waste of time.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm mid speech and I realize I'm doing that.
Here's
the
why
realization is even the realization, I'm that's a couple seconds right there. I'm
Okay, so there's this episode of The League. Tell me if you guys remember this. All right, so there's a guy, Kevin, who's one of the main characters. He cannot lie to save his life. And he wants to learn how to lie. And so who's going to teach him how to lie better than the Jewish lawyer?
Nice.
And the secret to him lying is you always repeat the question first, and then you have a second to think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what's funny is who has this built in them?
You the man, David. You the man. Getting you locked in on those 2 extra entries with that.
Yeah.
Good looking.
Oh, yeah. Dog, women have this in them because I swear to God, women answer questions with a question 9.5 out of 10 times. You know what I mean?
So it wasn't answering it. Well, it's repeating the question.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Did you steal this? And did I steal this? No, I didn't steal, whatever comes after that. But
Okay.
it's repeat the question first, and then you go into your shtick.
I still don't stray away from what I said.
I'm not saying
women are the masters of this. Find me a Jewish woman lawyer, and I'm unstoppable.
Damn, Ronald said, I get so annoyed when I see cars with stars in Philly. I believe it, man. I believe it.
You talking about the Wraiths?
No, the Dallas Stars.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know what's funny?
Those Cowboy
It's like-
Stars.
Is man out here, bro. Every time I see like a Cowboy fan, and like I know this motherfucker's whole life, I'm like, you're from Cali, bro. Like, how are you a Cowboys fan? I'm like, well, they were shit in the '90s, and like, oh, so you're just a bandwagoner to start, and then you hopped on one, and then now you think you're being true to something great.
I mean, it's really tough. Like, it's really tough to question anyone's fanhood or where it comes from.
I will.
Well, I mean, we always can, but like, no matter what, like, it's always justified to the person.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I used to be the type of person who would talk shit if they didn't cheer for like the hometown team. Or
you know what I hear more these days? What I hear more these days is like, oh yeah, I'm a so and so fan, but I'm also a fan of so and so, and I really love this specific player so and so. Like so many people are like, oh, I know.
It's because like why should we be loyal
they're
to
wearing
these?
Lakers shit. I see my friend wearing Lakers. It's like, oh, why? I'm a LeBron fan. Get the fuck out of here.
But you know what? I don't understand why fans have to be so loyal to a team anyways. Like that's what I've come to. Like we could take it all the way back. What's that movie with when oh god damn it, I can't even think of that movie. Not a Bronx Tale? I think a Bronx Tale where it's like the young kid is like he's a fan of like Mickey Mantle and all this shit. And I'm gonna find that exact quote, but he pretty much made the kid like not care about the Yankees anymore because there was like a gangster putting him onto some real shit.
Yeah. I mean, that, and that's the thing too, is when God bless those people that have like the time to take and lace game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I've for years been trying to get my girl to get Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
Because like that shit is hilarious to me, and I know if she sits through it like a dozen times, she'll get it, but she can't. You know what I mean? And then, but I refuse to believe she just doesn't get it. You know what I mean?
So here's the line. It was young C, the kid who said, Bill Mazeroski, I hate him. He made Mickey Mantle cry. And the paper said the Mick cried. And Sonny said, Mickey Mantle. He said, that's what you're upset about? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. How much does your father make? He was like, if your dad ever can't pay the rent, needs money, go ask Mickey Mantle. See what happens. Mickey Mantle don't care about you. Why should you care about him? Nobody cares.
That's a good point. I mean, see, and that's why, like, maybe because I've met hella artists, I didn't really I didn't look at artists to be like my heroes. Maybe Tupac, but he died when I was real young, right?
Yeah.
Like 12 or 11 or 12 or something like that. But like, when I worked for that magazine, I met like everyone you could name. And like, if they weren't smoking or drinking with us or like, doing other things with us, they probably weren't cool. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just
they're usually like real snobs too. And like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about your P. Diddy story fucking yesterday or 2 days ago, talking about how he was just a little bitch for the 15 minutes when you guys were interviewing him.
Yeah. And like who was mad cool? Young Buck. Because that was the first interview that I got to conduct. Right? And like, so there's a quick little story. We go to whatever hotel they're at in the city. And then we meet with his manager first. And like, so we like, it's like some hood type shit for real because we don't even get met in the lobby. He just gives us the room number. So we just go up to the room and we knock on the room, right? And then the dude was like, oh, that's y'all? Okay, hold on. And it was crazy because it was like hella cloudy in there, you know what I mean? And so the manager comes out and now he has a shirt. He's like, all right, let's go. And then, he was on a different floor. So now he's taking us to Young Buck's room. And it was crazy because the dude didn't smell like no tree. And then we get up in the Young Bucks room, right? And it's hella cloudy in there too. And then shout out to JT the Bigger Figure. He's a San Francisco rapper / producer legend, right? He was there chilling. And what's funny is it's hella cloudy in there. And then it just hit me. I'm like, I think they're smoking crack. I told my man, he's like, yeah, I'm like, get the fuck. I'm like, this ain't no fuck. I mean, what do you think is cloudy in here for? Then they did roll up some tree, but it was just like, and that, Young Bucks in there, greasy, bruh. Greasy.
Damn it.
I mean, listen, you know what I mean? If you know, you know. Like, yeah, the motherfucker, like, but he was so cool though, and the interview was so dope. And then like he at one point he goes, first of all, he ain't got no shirt on, and he has all his jewels on the fucking thing, and he just starts grabbing hella chains, right? Puts them on me. Man, let's go take this interview outside. And my man's got the camera. And so we're just walking, and like JT the bigger figure, he like calling up like the hood, bro. And it was like hella kids out, and they're just walking in the street, he's signing autographs, and he's got no shirt on. Fucking, he's hella twacked out of his mind, probably. You know what I mean? But it was just crazy. Like, damn, this guy's fucking. He's a cool dude, but yeah, he was doing some other shit, some other extracurricular. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And let's get back on the rails here. So dang it, Fornicator was waiting for us to get to the Peterson talk. Said, got to dip, fellas. Just wanted to say, Nagy going to be the OC for the Jags and ruin Pretty Boy Trevor's career.
Is he? Did he bring on Nagy?
So I don't think it's official as a referee's whistle, but because I did see something about Nagy.
I do like I will say this, like, it will be annoying for that backfield in fantasy because Peterson likes to run a timeshare at minimum, but like, it could be majority Travis Etienne because like you got Robinson coming off, the late season ACL, you know what I mean? He's probably gonna start off the year on the pup.
Right.
So I for fantasy purposes, and then I even like Laviska again because he's gonna be like a post-hype guy.
What was his injury? Do you remember?
Who?
Laviska.
I want to say it was ankle, if I remember, but it wasn't nothing major. They just shut him down. Because it was like week 16 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like I like his outlook because he'll probably. I mean, the slot receivers in Doug Peterson's system, they over the years they've ate. Like, for example, goddamn Nelson Aguilar, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, when was Nelson Aguilar ever dope? Like, his little time over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what about Doug Peterson? I mean, we were talking before, and you said that you kind of like it, him going there. You don't like it?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's a guy who's already won. You know what I mean? And then you can't really blame this guy for Carson Wentz taking several steps back and like being psychologically fucked, going to the stadium every day, seeing a statue of Nick Foles, like crying about it, praying to White Jesus every night. White Jesus likes Big Dick Nick better than him. He knows it. You know what I mean? He goes over to Indy. They managed to finagle a first round out of him. Like, the Eagles, shout out to Howie Roseman. Their GM is fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? Because he does shit like that. You know what I mean? Hey, I think Doug Peterson's firing too was because he didn't want to be committed to Carson Wentz. And then what they do, they fired him, then moved Carson Wentz. Of course, the organization wasn't going to say, well, we're not down Wentz neither. They needed him to have as much shining appeal as possible because he was already tarnished as fuck. And they still got the trade-off.
Yep.
But I listen, Jacksonville is one of those places, it's probably doomed from the start. Yeah. But like, it's also out of 32 teams, it's also a team that's been to the AFC title game, twice in the last 20 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Into 22 years or something like that. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, there's other organizations that are supposed to be hella good that can't say that. Like, the Cowboys can't say they've been to a title game in how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and these are supposed to be, so I'm saying, like, the for every dog that has his day, you know what I mean? This is another one of those cases. Took a year off, you know what I mean? They're bringing him in, someone who, like, and I mean, Nagy and all these, Nagy's probably not a good head coach. He was brilliant under Andy Reid. He had a career, he was the reason Alex Smith had a career year. The year that they had Mahomes in the waiting, you know what I mean?
Yep. Hell yeah. Well, and I mean, you draft a guy like Mahomes, you see him in practice, your days are limited. He was probably he knew he was playing with house money that year. Got no reason not to go out there and sling it. You're going to lose your job anyways.
I mean, I know Jimmy didn't go out there and have a career year like that, but it was the same scenario, right? You got a guy
Yeah.
who you know is probably better than you talent wise. You know what I mean? This guy's waiting. You know what I mean?
Number
So,
three overall pick, and they sold the farm, to get him. Like, you already know your days are limited when you're Jimmy.
yeah, and like, I mean, for what it's worth, I think the Peterson hire is something that I'm. First of all, I'm not giving the owner Khan. I'm not giving him credit at all because he's kind of an idiot, right? But what I am going to say is that there's a track record here. He had Carson Wentz as a rookie, and then sophomore year he was balling. You know what I mean? Like, this is on his resume now.
That was the year that it was his MVP run, right? Until he got hurt in the 13th week.
Yeah, week 14. Yeah, it was week 14 against the Rams in LA. He fucking
that was crazy.
he runs it in.
You could see he runs it in, and then it was a flag or something, right? And it got called back or some shit. But you could see when the defender hit his knee, you knew that he was fucked right then, because like I saw his knee get buckled.
And so then the next play, they go for it on fourth. He's in a shotgun. He throws a touchdown pass to fucking Alshon Jeffrey.
Lucky he didn't have to move.
He didn't have to move. But what's crazy is that like Wentz was a guy, bruh. Like, then he came back the next year. You know, he started the year on the pup. Nick Foles got in there. You know what I mean? Then when Carson Wentz gets back, he fractures a bone in his back or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's out again. And then Nick takes him to the playoffs, and then the goddamn double doink. You know what I mean? We're fucking Chicago. They double doinked it and shit.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next year, 2019, he has another fucking mediocre year. You know what I'm saying? But he got this is the big Jordan Howard and then Miles Sanders year.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, and then you know, 2020 happens, right? And there's so many injuries on that line, and like Carson Wentz, just by this point, it's 3 years removed from like not being a hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when he, you know, it's like the dude, he was with the bitch all night, bruh, gaming her up. You know what I mean? Buying her drinks. And then he goes to the bathroom, takes a piss, and he comes back, the homies on her. You know what I mean? The homies leaving with her, even. You know what I mean? He done warmed up the machine, and now the homie's gonna hit the jackpot. You know what I mean? That's what Nick Foles did to him. You know what I'm saying? And this is my favorite though, because if anybody remembers, that parade was fucking tremendous in Philly because it was their first title. You know, there's like 1 million people.
Yeah, it was wild,
right? And then Carson Wentz gets on there, and then you know the people are chanting MVP, MVP, and he gets on there. He goes, "Yo, you guys better get used to this." Jinxed him right there. But yeah, man, I like the Doug Peterson hire. There's nothing to get excited about for fantasy purposes. If you hear like, oh shit, they hired Brian Leftwich, you're like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least we know, like, hey, whatever tight end that pops up here, what my man Dan Arnold, bro, he might be a thing next year because they love going 12 personnel in that system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously we're going to see a lot of RPO. You know what I mean? Trevor Lawrence is going to love that. You know, he did a ton of run pass option in college. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Brian Leftwich. I mean, there ain't gonna be. we weren't gonna be excited about that either way. I mean, there's not too many reasons to get excited about the Jaguars either way. I know everyone who drafted Trevor Lawrence as the 101 in a rookie draft last year, and everyone who drafted Trevor Lawrence as like a top 3, dynasty draft pick. I'm sure they're just a little bit pissed because they could have got someone else. Trevor could have been someone else's headache. Trevor may end up being good, but he's going to have to outlast a bunch of these coaches and shitty systems until they actually rebuild a squad.
I think Peterson's good here for about 2-3 seasons, right? Because, I mean, we could probably agree, like, this is not a team that's going to pull a Bengals and, like, be a thing next year all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
I mean, if they did that, that would be, like, insane. I want to see what the odds are for Jacksonville to, like, win the championship. Like, when they open the lines or whatever for the season.
I mean, it's probably good. It's probably good money to just throw, like, $100 on shit like that every year because if it hits, you're like, oh, cool, I have, like, fucking 11 bands right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You feel me? Like, yeah. No, but another thing too is like, I mean, who else were they looking at? Rich Bisaccia.
I have no idea who they were even fucking interviewing.
No, I'm
Pretty
just
sure
saying
they
these are the
interviewed
people that
Brian
they were
Flores.
interviewing.
Pretty sure they interviewed Flores, also.
Yeah, well, because they needed to interview a black person before they hired the next white guy that hasn't been coaching for a year.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Because that's what Brian Flores is talking about, right? And he ain't capping either.
Yeah.
Dad, let's do the Home Alone one.
What's up, big dog?
Noble.
Let's do the Home Alone Legos.
See, Noble's already hyped about it. I told you, man, these Legos are hyped. Doesn't matter if you're older or younger. Everyone loves them.
Hell yeah.
Me and Dad got Home Alone Legos and Super Mario 64.
Dude. You got a Nintendo 64 Legos though?
Yeah.
And
Build it
Home
and
Alone.
it's the 64.
No, so what it is, it's the little question mark little boxes.
Yeah.
They build it like that, but there's a bunch of stuff inside, and it's got like the different castles, but it's like the Mario 64, like all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bowser talks in the castle if you're in a new one.
Whoa, you all right?
What?
All right. See, I told you, man. These Legos are hyped.
Right?
Sir Bong's a lot in the building. What up?
Let me hear that bong.
And Ronald's got a prediction. He said, I think they will be 9-7 in Dougie's first year. That would be if he went 9-7 with that squad. I mean, we don't know what free agents are going to pick up or who they're going to draft.
You mean maybe 9-8? You mean?
Oh yeah, it's got to be got to be 9-8. We got.
I like 9-7-1.
Oh, there we go. 9-7-1. Pull of Steelers. I mean, shit, that made it to the playoffs, didn't it? Or were they 10-7-1?
Yeah, 10-7.
Or no, 10. No, yeah. What the hell?
10-6-1.
10-6-1. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
No, they were 9-7-1.
Oh, okay. Then they couldn't even put away the Lions. It wasn't even Jared Goff. Oh, that was the Mason Rudolph week too, huh?
Yep.
That's funny.
That'd be funny. That'd be crazy if they went 9-8, some shit like that. I mean, nuts.
Okay,
Donald said I had hair like him when I was a kid. I've never had anything but like straight. Well, actually, I can't lie. I saw some crazy ass pictures when I was 4 where I had like a mullet or some shit, or 3. Like, I don't know what my parents were thinking.
Bro, I remember until I was like 11 years old, bro, I had the joint where it's like you split it in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like faded all around, you know what I mean? But like, then I would like gel my hair. And then like, like I said, I was like 11. I was like, man, I'm about to shave my head bald, bro. You know what I mean? And that was the joint, bro.
Hell yeah.
You feel me?
They said he won't win anything, but he will improve the team. I mean, it's not going to be hard to improve the team. I mean, don't they have the number 1 pick?
Yeah, exactly.
They've had the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. Like, they really can't go any farther down the shithole right now.
And what I would do if I'm them motherfuckers is I'm trading out of that spot, getting more assets.
Yeah, because I mean, someone's gonna want. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how far. Because if they got one of those ends, Aiden Hutchinson or Thibodeau, I forget his first name off the top of my head.
And they gotta get him. Actually, I retract my statement. They need that because pass rush is what made Jacksonville relevant in the past 5. How long was that? 6 years ago?
Yeah, 2017, right?
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's so crazy. It was only the 1 year. I guess they were all right the next year. They just didn't make the playoffs.
I mean, there's a difference when you make it to the conference championship, versus.
He never made it again. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not even close.
And that's funny too because he went through the Tyrod Taylor-led Bills, then he beats the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and then almost beats New England. Of course, Tom Brady comes back to win in the fourth quarter. But like, it's funny because he has more playoff wins than hella motherfuckers, bro.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has 2 playoff wins.
that's more
That's
than Dak.
than Dak. We went straight to Dak.
Stu, defend Dak.
Dude,
Why does he have less playoff wins?
bro.
Why does he have less playoff wins than Blake Bortles?
Hey, he's tapped into the matrix a different way. Anyone talks about like Cowboys, anything like he's like, where?
Yeah.
Oh shit, like a bastard hound, bro. He hears that shit.
But yeah, so I mean, as of now, I know that those 2 DNs, I mean, I know they're really high on everyone's list, and I think like both of them are supposed to be going in like the top 3. I don't know what QB would be mixed in or anything like that, but maybe that's the only way you trade out of that pick, and maybe it's just down a couple picks. And
you know what's funny? People like to shit on Doug Peterson, right? Like, he wrote a book right after he won the Super Bowl about like, you know, like the fucking, like it was like a blueprint or something. And then, you know what I mean? Like, and then he was ultra aggressive and like always going for it on 4th. And he was had the analytics guys and then he was doing things unheard of, calling the Philly specials. And it all worked out. And
yeah.
then, you know what I mean? And then, so I think a lot of people find hate for him. You know what I mean? Because they also hate, you know, Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? Like, it was easy to hate them as fuck. You know what I mean?
and
like,
I remember
it's not like he's going to redeem himself, but as a coach, this is smart. There's only really like 1.5 good teams in that division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I say 1.5 because I'm not sold on the Colts all the way. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They have a bad driver behind the wheel. You know what I mean?
And who knows if he's even going to be driving anything.
I know, right?
He might be gone.
You know what's crazy is Indy, they were really aggressive in trying to get.
Bogey in the Matrix. Yeah, and back then, let's see what they do in Jacksonville if they try to do some shades of what they had over here in Philly. So they had Fletcher Cox, Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham, Chris Long. I mean that's a crazy line right there. And who they have, Nathan Gary, and crazy dude, Camus Gruger Hill was on Philly that year, so he actually got a Super Bowl ring. That's dope. I don't even remember. I didn't even know him back then. And they had Michael Kendricks, who was balling back then. Then they had Malcolm Jenkins at safety and Ronnie McLeod at safety as well. So they had a crazy safety tandem, and then they had Jalen Mills as well. So their defense was really stacked, and I was just going down some of their defensive players in Philly to kind of see what Doug Peterson was working with over there. And they had a crazy line that year.
And Jacksonville, their defense, they got a couple guys up front, though. Obviously, you have Josh Allen. You still have Miles Jack. I like that kid, the linebacker, Damian Williams.
Hell yeah.
Like, he came on heavy. I remember I picked up a ton of him in our IDP leagues.
Hell yeah. He's the man. And it's crazy. You remember hearing me talk about Camus Gruger Hill, right?
What say that name again?
Camus Gruger Hill. He was on the Texans.
Yeah, Gruber Hill.
He was on the fucking Eagles in 2017. I don't even remember him being on that squad. So he was one of their role players back then, I'm sure.
That's dope. So he got him one.
Yeah.
Hey, motherfuckers like that get one your rookie year. It's so crazy. Like Malcolm Smith. Remember him?
Yep.
Fucking rookie linebacker for the Seahawks, rotational guy, and he's just the most impactful guy in the Super Bowl, and the motherfucking Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Fucking crazy. And
Ronald said they can't get a new QB. We talking about the Colts? That's who we were talking about.
The Colts.
We were talking about Carson Wentz and the Colts.
We're
talking about the division that he's in and why he might have went there, because the division is they only got 1.5 good teams down there.
I'm ready to send Jimmy any of these teams, bro. The Colts might be one of them too now. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the Colts defense is nasty. I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor. I mean, their line, not staying healthy. I mean, that was a big issue.
Yeah.
For them.
They were still. I think it was more when their line was not healthy. It was more of an issue for Carson Wentz because, like, I remember
all their wide. So it wasn't even just the line. It was all the wide receivers getting hurt too.
Let me grab the baby real quick.
It was a little bit of both that we had for him. Everybody.
I will say there was a game where they were down 3 out of 5 starters, and the motherfuckers, what was it? Jonathan, they were playing against the Cardinals, and Jonathan Taylor still put up 100 on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he didn't put up a touchdown, and everyone was like pissed at him. I'm never drafting Jonathan Taylor high again. They were so pissed at him.
Hey, he kind of fucked a lot of people in that first round.
Yeah, I barely squeaked by in that. Actually, now the only place that I had him, I had to buy that week.
Hey, sometimes when I'm mad during the day, I just think about how it was my destiny in 5 different leagues, and I'm like, yeah. Because it was like, this was a very difficult year, and I'm ready for next year already.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm hyped about these dynasty leagues.
Right? Hold on, let me grab a baby real quick.
All right. Yeah, I hope you guys are ready for so JC Money, he's got his show starting in about 10 minutes, going to be breaking down some basketball lineups, and then later today we got the mock draft going down again. I'm going to put the link in the description right now. Make sure you guys go set a reminder. We're going live at 4:20 Pacific time, 7:20 Eastern time. We already got the mock draft full. But if you want to be an alternate, make sure you just make sure you come in here. Make sure you're in here early. We got the whole mock filled right now, but everyone's got to be here by 4:20, or I'm going to start replacing people. Last week we had like 2 people who didn't show up on time. Right? Yeah. And then, why don't we go ahead and just wrap a bow on this thing? We got JC Money show about to start. And as of now, we got no show tomorrow. But I'm excited for Sunday and the Playmakers.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sunday, it's going down 6:30 p.m. West Coast time, 9:30 p.m. East Coast time. It's the Tom Brady official Alpha David / dossier. We're breaking down all the gates he was involved in. We're gonna try our best to stain the goatness.
Yeah, I hope you guys are ready. There's a lot of people who aren't ready to have real conversations like this. They really aren't. But we're not going to give you what you want. We're going to give you what you need.
I love Tom Brady, for the record.
Everyone loves Tom Brady, and you know what? It's just like Kobe. I hated Kobe when he played because I didn't really like the Lakers, and he's just so damn good.
No. You don't just not really like the Lakers. Come on, you hated him.
Well, okay, yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
I hate the Lakers too.
And so, yeah, hated Kobe. And but when he retired, it was like this. I don't know. It didn't matter anymore because now he's moved on to the next phase of his life. You can't fuck with whatever I'm hoping to happen in the NBA anymore.
I mean, I like fans that are like that though. They stay true to it. They'll be like, man, fuck LeBron. I don't give a fuck if he's a Laker. Like an actual Laker fan that hated LeBron. Like, you know what? Now he's here. I don't know. Fuck him. That's a real fan.
Like everyone who hated Tom Brady, but if you were like a Bucks fan and hated Tom Brady, you welcomed him with open arms.
Hey, shout out to the Bucks fans. What y'all gonna do?
Ronald, you got to learn about these defensive players, man. One day, IDP is going to be the norm. Trust me. Like, that's just the way that it's going. It's like when PPR, when everyone was thinking about making the jump to PPR, like, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, maybe even 25 years ago. And now everyone's slowly making the transition to Superflex. IDP is going to be the next thing because everyone is going to get bored with these default leagues, like they just get boring after time.
I mean, plus, it's just so whack. The old ways are so whack, bro. You know what I mean?
We got to evolve.
Yeah.
Just like everyone wants the NFL to evolve with their overtime rules and, all that shit that everyone bitches about. Same thing with fantasy football. We got to evolve. We got to make it more fun, like year after year.
Right.
And once you start playing with these defensive players, you'll realize, it is more fun to watch the game. It's more fun to play fantasy football with more players to cheer for. And it'll make you learn a lot more about offense, actually, when you start tracking these defensive players.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny is it wasn't the easiest transition for me initially, but like, you know what I'm saying? This is probably about going into 2017, the first year I did an IDP league, and it was a full-on joint. You know, you gotta start 8 of these motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know what I mean? I knew how rough I had it because I was, you know what I mean? But then you're very aware of a lot of the players already because you're tracking these players because you know, you're starting your skill guys against them, you know what I mean?
Yep. Then you know who's good defensively on these other teams, and
exactly
what running backs might have an off game because they're going up against 2 savage linebackers that are going to be covering all game, shit like that.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's get up out of here. What else we got going on? Nothing tomorrow. We'll be back with FNT next week. We're staying true Monday through Friday, and then we're going to be switching to a Wednesday, Friday after the Super Bowl. And yeah, we got movies and munchies. That's going to be coming up after the Super Bowl. We got a big vote going on right now inside the fantasy football group about which 3 movies we're going to do first. We got an award show coming next Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl. So we're going to make sure to give out all the awards before the Super Bowl, before we end this football year.
Yeah. Got some good awards too.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we're out. Be on the lookout for all the videos and podcasts dropping. Appreciate you guys. We're out.
Peace.
As I make my way, the fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to waste. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your work sure would help a lot.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side Ho, where they know my name.